Hi guys, welcome. Angler's Full here, and I'm going for a bit of a different game here. I've just come across Broken Sword again. I played this years and years ago when it came out. I think it's like late 90s. It came out 96, 97, something like that. And I used to play the demo version on the PlayStation because I'd got it for free somewhere. Oh my god, loved it. Finally then got the game and then actually never finished it. Got stuck, there was a bit with a goat and the goat in Broken Sword, that becomes a whole thing. But yeah, so I've just found it again and thought, you know what, I'll work my way through. So this is the director's cut, so it has got little extra bits in. But yeah, so let's jump right in.
Paris, city of love, romance and dreams. So they say. I used to say it too, but ever since that day, the day of the murder, I've always associated my beloved Paris with death.
Yeah, so in this director's cut, you get, from what I can gather, we're going to get extra bits where we play with Nicole. So this first bit is Nicole. And yeah, you just kind of work through. I think it just adds a bit more to the story. Like I say, I literally played the first couple of bits, so. But I just love it because you look at the artwork, it's like 2D / a bit of 3D, but it won't age because it's just kind of, it's timeless really. And look, you got a nice Paris skyline there, Eiffel Tower, the Sacré-Cœur coming in the background there. Yeah, and you get the little birdies flying at the beginning of each one. I played number 5 recently and you got a falcon or something at the beginning. But yeah, so it's a theme all the way through. But yeah, so yes, very excited about this. Right, here we go.
I was at home having a bath when my editor called.
Collard, get your ass over to the Palais Royale now. You got an interview. With Pierre Carchon. Yes, the Pierre Carchon. No photos, so leave your gear at home. He asked for you personally. Don't ask me why. Anyhow, this could be big, so if he makes a pass, don't forget. Just smile, say yes, and keep taking notes.
So charming and so very apt. Pierre Carchon was a media king, a national hero, and one of the most infamous adulterers in Europe. He and his wife Imelda were just one step down from royalty.
Ooh, mime.
Whoa, I hate mimes, but unless you humor them, they don't go away.
Ah, and freaky.
Here I was, the palace of the media king and the ice queen.
The Ice Queen.
I pressed the doorbell and set in motion a chain of events which would change my life forever.
Yes? What is it?
Madame, my name is Nico Collard. I'm here to see Monsieur Carchon.
Come up, we're on the first floor.
Oh, here we go. There goes the mime. What's he gonna do?
Madame Carchon, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Yes, I'm sure.
The Ice Queen was certainly living up to her reputation.
Old school window opening?
Will you be staying for the interview?
Mademoiselle, I know little of my husband's business affairs, and I care even less. I certainly have no intention of watching him pore over yet another pretty little journalist.
Pretty? You're too kind, madame.
Oh, here we go. Something's afoot.
Ah, the talented and very beautiful Mademoiselle Collard. Such a pleasure to meet you at last.
Monsieur Carchon, I am honored.
Oh, I'm sure you are.
Call me Pierre, please. But I do not flatter you idly. I was a friend of your father. He was a great man.
My father, he never mentioned.
He and I were very close. And then his death. So tragic. I must...
Ah, no more about that story.
Mother, your damned cat's in my study again. Another Ming vase, I suppose.
Just a Ming vase. Nothing much.
Excuse me for one moment, my dear girl.
Dun, dun,
You
dun.
journalists are getting younger each year.
Perhaps it's the rest of the world getting older, madame.
Take that, Ice Queen.
That was no cat.
God,
It was the
Monsieur
mime.
Carson!
Oh, night night, Nicole. Oh, she's still alive. Shucks.
He's dead. I must call the police. You'd better stay here.
There was a man. It was the mime. Do you think he...
Well, I believe we can rule out suicide, don't you?
Well, she clearly looks upset.
No wonder they called her the Ice Queen. She would have been top of my list of suspects if I hadn't seen the attacker myself. And if I hadn't come across a couple of murders just like this already.
Convenient.
One of the most important men in Europe murdered. And here was I, Nico Coulard, alone at the scene of the crime. Should I wait for the cops?
What
Start my own investigation.
What is she going to do? Clearly.
It was a no-brainer.
No-brainer. Right, okay, so let's get ourselves started. Oh, here we go. Point, click, blah, blah, blah. Lovely. Right, what books has he got?
The bookcase was filled with obscure first editions.
Ooh, okay. Let's have a look at the guy. What's his name? Pierre Carchon?
Mimes and guns don't usually go together, but I had an idea that this was no ordinary mime. I'd come across this murderer before and written about him. The costume killer. At least that's what I'd called him.
Catchy name. Let's grab that, whatever it is. Always grab everything.
My hair clips. My favourite, in fact.
How'd
It
you-
must have fallen when I was knocked down.
Would you have a favourite hair clip?
I closed his eyes. It was the least I could do for the poor fellow.
Yeah, let's close them.
Some
It's
people
freaky.
hate searching corpses for clues. Me, I'm okay with it. Reminds me of an old boyfriend.
What is this?
In his pocket, I found a ticket stamped Bateau de la Conciergerie. Taking the ticket meant I tampered with the evidence. There was no going back now.
You're in it, Nicole.
Carchon had been shot.
Carchon, that's his name. Right. Anything else? No, that was his eyes. Nope, nothing else. Right, marvellous. How about the window? What does
A
that tell
small
us?
round piece of glass had been cut out of the pane. This was a professional job.
Professional. Come on,
I
investigate.
didn't want to cut myself and leave blood on the glass. Call me old-fashioned, but I like to keep my DNA to myself.
Not that you've been touching the rest of the room at all. No, no DNA there at all. Jesus
The
Christ!
killer must have used a ladder to reach the window. He was long gone. Guess he folded that ladder up, popped it in his pocket and took it with him.
But how are there no balconies there? That's just not safe, clearly. Clearly not safe. Anyways, anything else in the room?
A bust of Pierre Carchon,
Mm,
humble servant of La France.
humble. Very humble. Oh, it's just another one of them. No, we're done. Right. Moving
Police
on.
could turn up at any minute. Somewhere there were clues to the murder, and I needed to find them.
Yes, yes you do. Let's go somewhere else.
The door was locked.
Or not. What have we got here?
A Louis XIV table with an antique cloth. Imelda had taste. But hey, with a husband that rich, taste is easy.
Of course, of course. What is this? This must be the cloth.
I reckoned that cloth might just turn out to be useful.
We'll have that. Ooh, look. A hole.
Even my fingernail wouldn't fit into such a small hole.
Small hole. Well, fortunately, yes, an inventory. Yes, we can use stuff. Fortunately, you have your favourite hair clip to hand.
Aha! Nico,
Uh-huh.
you are just so damn good at this stuff.
And so modest.
Instead of comforting Imelda, I was ransacking her flat. Why?
Deserved it.
Because there was something going on here, and I had to get answers before the cops arrived. And hey, she'd been rude to me, so she had it coming.
Well, that's just not the attitude, is it? Anyways, right, we've got that. What's this?
Imelda had talent, but I certainly wasn't going to tell her that.
Something else. What is
It
this?
was a tube of acrylic paint.
Ooh,
French ultramarine.
ow.
Just the color I was after for my bathroom.
I'm sorry, I have to go. Someone is...
Oh yeah, clearly. Sorting out your bathroom there.
Young lady, what are you doing? Oh, this paint. It's my favorite color.
Hmm.
For God's sake, keep the damn stuff.
Yes. Okay. What you got to say for yourself? Apart from your husband's dead.
Excuse me, madame.
Yes?
I
How
am
about
so
your
sorry for
husband?
your loss, madame.
No, you're not. You're a journalist. Journalists don't feel sorry.
Not true.
We shall see.
Yes.
Why did your husband send for me? What did he want to discuss?
I have no idea. His business was his business.
He never told you anything.
No, and frankly, I preferred it that way.
She clearly is oblivious, isn't she?
How did your husband know my father?
I have no idea.
You didn't know him? Thierry Collard?
Pierre knew a lot of people I didn't know, most of them women.
Ooh, okay.
Why would a mime want to kill your husband?
Pierre had plenty of enemies. Half the husbands in Paris for a start. This is quite a scoop for you. I suppose you're already inventing the headlines.
Just because I am a journalist.
Don't patronize me. You're all cut from the same cloth. Do you have any moral sense at all?
Of course I do.
Yes, that's why I do this job.
You do it to see your name in print.
Oh, that's well.
As if my editor gets the byline, I just do the work.
Well, don't expect my sympathy.
Huh.
The police will be here soon, madame. Is there anybody you would like me to contact? Family, friends?
No, I have no family. Pierre and I were... He was all I had, really. Not much, was it? The dutiful wife. That was my role. He never talked, never let me in.
I know one thing, madame.
What?
If you want to find out who killed your husband, then you let me do the job, not the police.
Why? How do I know I can trust you?
Because I'm a saint, of course.
Your husband invited me here today because he needed
All
me.
that.
I think he knew somebody wanted to kill him, and he knew I could help.
I doubt it was your database he was after.
You're wrong. I was onto his killers already. I am sure of it. Please, you owe it to him.
I don't know.
All I need is a few more minutes to look around before the police come.
You really do have a moral sense, don't you?
She convinced her
trust
quick.
So few people. And perhaps Pierre really did think that you could help. Of course it wouldn't have stopped him seducing you too.
Of course.
Here, take this. It's the key to the drawing room next to the library at the end of the hall.
Ah.
It was Pierre's room. I rarely went in there. I couldn't. I was too scared of what I might find.
Well, there we go. A key.
Thank you. I promise you won't regret this.
Right. Moving on. Let's get back to that room. Come on, walk faster, woman. Come on, keep going. There's the door. Right, key. Yep. Did I put it on there? Oh, I did.
Now we were getting somewhere.
Ah, yes. Yes, we are. Right, so what we got here? Ooh, what's up here?
The painting showed the Cachons together, in love. As the poet said, the past is a different country. Or did I read that in a fortune cookie?
Quite possibly.
There was the very faintest of clicks.
Ooh, okay, let's open it up.
Behind the picture was a safe.
Of course there was a safe.
The safe was locked. I needed the key.
Yes, do we have the key? Ah, it looks very much like that shape. Perfect. Is there in there? Ooh, what is this thing?
In the safe was some kind of artifact. There were strange symbols on its surface. It looked like the printer's blocks I'd made at art school.
Okay.
If there was one thing I'd learned about symbols, they are always important.
Of course
But
they
these
are.
symbols scratched into stone were impossible to read. I needed to find a way of printing them. At least the
Okay.
stone was round. But what could I use for ink?
I
And what could I
wonder.
print on? Sure, I was stealing, but I knew Imelda didn't know about the artifact, and Carchon was past caring.
Ash? Right, so we need some ink. Well, we'd got some paint from the other room, so that's fine. Anything in there?
This wasn't the time for me to lie on the sofa doing my Marie Antoinette impression.
Though it is very popular at parties, especially with gay guys. Don't ask me why.
Okay, that was rather random. Let's have a look on the desk.
As expected, the desk was yet another priceless antique. Yawn. The blotter and
Yawn.
in tray had clearly been placed with mathematical precision.
Okay, what's
I
this?
didn't want to take the tray,
Oh.
but I knew that I could use it.
Okay, I can use it. This.
My heart skipped a beat.
Ah.
It was a carved elephant. But not just any carved elephant. It had been made by my father. I knew for certain
Oh.
because in my apartment I had its exact twin, carved into a box he had made. So Carchon had known my father. They really must have been friends.
Oh, wow.
I decided to take the carved elephant. It clearly meant nothing to Imelda.
Good God, you're making Imelda really sound like an ice queen. Right, what can I do with that thing?
I didn't need a sheet of blotting paper. Not while it was blank.
Okay, so we need to print something on here. We need to see what's on this thing here. So how about we chuck that in there? Ah, perfect.
I spread blue paint over the bottom of the tray. It was ruined. I was a very bad girl.
Bad
But
girl.
also quite a clever one.
Okay, so if we then try... How about roll... Can we roll? Yes, we can. Perfect. Roll away, woman.
I rolled the artifact in the
Ah,
paint
look at that.
until it was completely coated.
Hey, look at that.
Antique tray
Oh.
with paint spread all over it. Not a lot I could do with that.
Hey, see that? Yeah, that's not helpful. How about... So that... There now. Yes, yes, Nicole.
Genius.
Spread that blue stuff
The
around.
roller and the paint worked just as I planned. But what did it say?
Oh.
It was
Sub-judice.
some kind of coded message. It read, "Subjudice." I may not have learned a lot as a journalist, but that was a term I knew well. It means a legal case that is before the courts.
Ah.
Below it was a sequence of letters that made no sense.
Okay, intriguing.
I suddenly realized there was a connection between the boat ticket and the coded message. The
Okay.
boat ticket was stamped Bateau de la Conciergerie. The conciergerie on the Ile de la Cité, by the river, housed the ancient law courts. So, subjudice could in this case mean literally under the law courts, below the conciergerie. I was
Okay.
pretty sure I'd found all I could here. And besides, all this opulence was making me pine for my regular life of poverty. This was a huge story. It was also one heck of a puzzle with a lot of pieces missing. But I was going to crack it. And if I could just remember the name of that fancy prize you get for being an ace journalist, I was definitely going to win it this time.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure you would. Oh, why are you flashing? What have I got? Relax in your bath, creepy mime, cold as ice, living on sound of a vase smashing, a body. Yes. Mime beckoned, knocked me out, came to, Imelda distraught, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't trust me much, Carchon safe. Subjudice, Carchon, blah, 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 blah. I should follow the clues exactly by going to the quayside on the Ile de la Cité. Literally under the conciergerie. Okay, let's go there then. Doop, doop, doop. There we go. Right. Come on, come on, come on. Move, 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 woman. Right. Can I talk to you again? Just on my way out. Say toodles.
Did you find anything useful?
This carving, do you know anything about it?
It was Pierre's. What does the statue have to do with...
Please, I need to know.
He was given it by a friend. Something to do with Africa.
Okay.
He never explained any more.
No. But I think it was important to him. Always on display. Why?
It was carved by my father.
Oh,
Ah.
I see. I didn't know.
Imelda, I will do everything I can to find the killer.
Thank you, my dear.
And
Thank
if
you.
the police ask,
Don't worry. You were never here.
Sub judice
Ah.
was the key.
Look at her covering
With
for
goals
us
of
now.
To find a way under the conciergerie. I decided to head straight for the quayside on the Ile de la Cité. If there was a way of getting under the conciergerie, it would have to be from there.
It would have to be. Ah, right. Ile de la Cité.
Canchon wasn't the type for messing about on the river. He was up to something down here. Something that got him killed.
Was it? Don't know. We shall see, we shall see. Anyways, I'll hold it there for today. I'll come back and do the Ile de la Ile de la Cité next time with the conciergerie. So yeah, I'll hold it there. Don't forget to like the video, comment away, and subscribe if you want to see more of the channel. Well, the channel, yes, and the playthrough. Anyways, I'll catch you next time, folks. Toodles!